A major planned SmackDown return was scrapped. We had a big heel turn on last night's SmackDown, and John Cena has undergone surgery. Stay tuned for the news. It was just yesterday that myself and Adam sat here and spoke about a return that was going to happen on SmackDown. We gave a spoiler warning. We were like, hey, look, this is going to happen. It was advertised by WWE.
Get a load of this guy.
Dave Meltzer said it.
Oh, well, you were wrong.
It was in the Observer.
You were wrong.
We were wrong because...
The comments down below are loving it. They're having a field day, Fraser.
Sam, I already checked yesterday's video. People are going, well, you were wrong. When we were wrong because AJ Styles did not appear on last night's SmackDown. As I said, it was reported by many places, including WWE itself, that he was going to be there. Now, PW Insider has given some insight into what's gone on here, and it seems like the return was planned, and they've said it was planned for last night's SmackDown, but it was scrapped and it's been pushed to a later date. No reason was given why for this scrapped plans for AJ's return. Having seen last night's show and bits and bobs and where I don't see where he could have fit in.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's the good old wrestling adage of card subject to change, isn't it? But at the same time, things like this can happen for many, many reasons. You can bring talent to an arena for months at a time and have them not appear. Carlito was apparently doing that for a while. He was just showing up and it was like, it's going to be this week. It's going to be next week. Don't worry. Sit down. Have a chill. It's going to be in a month's time. Sorry, but just chill. Hang out.
We've got
see
good
all
food.
your mates. So it's all about kind of fitting it in, right? And when you've got segments that may go slightly longer, or there might be something sort of last minute, or you're kind of looking ahead going, well, actually, if we wait 2 or 3 weeks, this can happen and we can do all this on the same show, then it's all about just tying everything together properly, isn't it? And if you just sort of throw them in there and it's kind of rushed, or it
gets forgotten about.
Yeah, it kind of gets forgotten about.
It gets forgotten about. And it's a shame that someone like AJ Styles has been off TV since September. I thought, and we were speculating yesterday, maybe he'll come back and do something with the bloodline, but it seems like if they're going to do that, then maybe we'll wait until maybe closer to Survivor Series. We're 2 weeks out from Survivor Series now, so we've got 2 more episodes of SmackDown. Until then, maybe we'll see him pop up. What would you like AJ to do upon a return?
I kind of want to see AJ involved in a War Games match.
Ooh, see, I said he could be maybe another one of the members joining.
If you think about his style, if you think about how he can kind of seamlessly work with many styles all at once, and you think all of the things he can jump off of, and all of the spinal tap
off the top.
Oh my God, yes, get him in War Games.
If he can still do it, that is. If he can still do the spinal tap.
How dare you?
He said before.
Still do it.
He has said before that he can't remember how to do it. So anyway, AJ, we hope that you're back on screen soon. I'm very excited for his return when it does happen. But staying with SmackDown just now, we did see quite a big heel turn on SmackDown.
It was
last
dramatic,
night.
Wasn't it?
Oh my God, Santos Escobar, what a goober. We'll use that word.
Yeah,
goober.
I think goober's probably the safest word we can use.
Well, Ray and the LWO opened SmackDown last night discussing his title loss to Logan Paul at Crown Jewel. Of course, we've got a new United States champion in Crown Jewel, in Logan Paul.
And the veteran decided to blame a weapon that he should have seen coming. If I'm being honest, he should have been ready for that. He's been in the ring for what, like 30 years now?
Yeah, he's a veteran.
You're telling me he's never met a weapon before?
He never met a foreign object of any sort.
He was on the roster at the same time as Regal.
That's a good point. And I forgot about that part. But Ray blames it, of course, on the cheating of Logan Paul. Carlito comes down to the ring and goes, No.
Don't blame yourself, Ray.
It's not your fault. It was Escobar's fault. Santos Escobar's fault, because he slid the brass knuckles in that Logan Paul capitalized on. They almost came to blows. We had Santos and Carlito sort of being held back from each other.
Yeah.
And then that led into Carlito versus Bobby Lashley, which is
Selena Vega trying to just mediate the entire thing, getting nowhere, just like, calm down.
She's holding them both back with her own strength and stopping them. But that led to Carlito losing to Bobby Lashley, and then following that match, Rey Mysterio was sort of tending to Carlito, and
there, buddy.
Yeah, and then Escobar gets involved. Rey shoves Escobar and being like, let me tend to my friend. Rey apologizes, but that's not good enough for Santos. What does he do, Sam?
No, so essentially Ray kind of, they just go for it. So they get out onto the apron, Ray's sort of leaving, and then Escobar kind of pauses and then just shoves Ray straight into the corner post, and then from there Ray kind of goes down onto the steps. And it's all kind of, it's just a bit, it's like a big family breakup.
I thought they messed it up because it looked like Ray hurt his knackers on the steel steps.
Well, he slipped between the gaps, didn't he? Yeah.
And then Escobar comes and hits the steel steps and causing Ray's leg to get jammed. I'm excited to see a heel Santos, because the way he was speaking to Ray after that, and he was like, it was supposed to be us. It was supposed to be you and me to the end.
You were my hero.
It felt very reminiscent of the Batista turn on Rey Mysterio back in 2009, where he was like, you were supposed to be my friend. And Ray's had a hard time with it. His son turned on him. His best mate, Batista's
even
turned on him.
Even going further back, there's a lot of betrayal in
Eddie's
Mysterio
turned on him.
tome.
Yeah. Like it's just constant for Ray. So it looks like Santos Escobar has left the LWO and turned on Rey Mysterio. I'm hoping to see some follow-up to this next week, and maybe we'll see the rest of the LWO weigh in. But staying on the topic of factions, what happened with Damage Control last night, Sam?
So it was confirmed that Damage Control has officially added Kairi Sane to its ranks following her return at Crown Jewel, but it wasn't the only new member added to Damage Control on last night's SmackDown, as during the 6-woman tag team match, can we just say as well, there was a whole moment where they kind of, Kairi forgave Bayley for attacking her on her way out, because Bayley rolled the footage of like, I don't know if I could trust Kairi, because like, look at what happened last time. Cuts to Bayley just stomping a hole in her. And then they were like, no, I forgive you. And then it was like, come on, hug it out. And Bayley's just like, I don't do this anymore. I don't hug it. And they all just hug her. They force her to hug.
It's lovely.
But during the 6-woman tag match, which saw Asuka, Charlotte, and Bianca versus Io, Bayley, and Kairi, the match fell apart midway. And then Asuka turned on Charlotte and Bianca, switched sides, and joined Damage Control, and then proceeded to beat down Flair and Belair. Shotzi attempted to make the save, but
it was denied. Not happening, Shotzi.
It's 3-on-1, Mo. What are you going to do?
If she still had the mini tank,
she's got
maybe.
The heart.
Yeah, she's got the heart. She's got the spirit. She tried
to
to take down Damage Control, but she did no damage to the Damage Control team. It looks like they're setting up War Games. It looks like this is what they're going to do. We need to have, or having the women's War Games match. You've now got 4 for Damage Control. Shotzi, Flair, Bianca. Who's their 4th member?
I'm excited to see where it's going to go, but I kind of liked Adam's idea a couple of weeks ago on the news. We were sat here and it was like, Kairi's coming back. It looks like that's confirmed. It's all going to happen. It's going to be at Crown Jewel. And he was like, you can either put her in there with Damage Control and everything in and around that, or have Rhea dominate in the 4-way and then have Kairi come straight out and go straight for Rhea. And I sort of wish they'd had Kairi go straight for Rhea. But at the same time, it's an exciting prospect. How long Bayley's going to be around?
That's the thing.
That's a big question.
I think it's going to be a case of Bayley's going to eventually be shut out.
Well, I don't know.
We're going to get someone else back
part of me feels like Bayley, it would work with Bayley. So I'm in two minds about it.
It'd be a lot of fun with Bayley for sure, but I'm excited to see what this women's War Games match is. I'm struggling to think of anyone that can fit into that final spot of the face team, but they do have a very extensive roster. Maybe we'll see someone come up from NXT. I feel like that could be a good way to fill that spot. But we mentioned Logan Paul earlier on when we were talking about Rey Mysterio. We've got a new United States champion. Have you seen the photos, Sam?
I have.
Him with a belt. And
I've seen the photos with the belt. But the thing you need to take into consideration, Fraser, right, is I spend some time on the internet.
You do.
And that man is not a wrestler. He's not a wrestler. So what's he doing with the United States title?
Well,
it's a disgrace, WWE. The history of that title. Eric Bischoff and WCW didn't spend years building that thing up for you to buy him out and then give it to John Cena and then give it a good hit and then nothing. And then now it's with him.
Now it's with Logan Paul.
He's a part-timer.
He's been speaking to Fox Business, Sam, and Logan Paul has revealed that he is retired from boxing.
Ooh.
That's right. He says he's done enough in that sport, going undefeated, 25-0, and he's going to be a wrestler now. Only now, a year and a half into it, after signing a contract, 2 contracts, in fact, he's going to be a wrestler now. But it does look like boxing is behind him now, and he's going to focus on WWE.
I imagine he'll probably keep a foot in the promotion game.
Yeah, there's a bit of money there.
Yeah, there's a bit of money in the old promotion around the old YouTube boxing spectacle. But I think this is great news in the way that, you know, it's going to sort of silence a lot of the dissenters, especially if Logan's going to be popping up regularly.
Yeah.
It's going to silence a lot of the dissenters. And again, it's just attracting more and more eyes to the product, which is what TKO want. We were talking recently about advertisers still holding that stigma about wrestling fans not being advertisable too, because, you know, there's that whole belief that wrestling fans can't afford afford luxury items and stuff. But the more you diversify the pool of fans, which is what they're really trying to do, and it's what Nick Khan's been very good at sort of building, is this sort of more open brand. The more that you're going to attract just general people to it, and you're going to kind of give advertisers less and less of a reason to use that excuse.
Yeah,
because it is ultimately a load of crap.
Yeah, absolutely. But you mentioned bringing eyes to the product, and that is something House of Wrestling has been discussing this week in a report, saying that a WWE source told them that internally the belief is that the NXT viewership will consistently outdraw AEW Dynamite next year, especially after they move to the CW. Now, the idea is that the CW is a younger broadcast TV channel instead of an aging cable channel, which will help attract a younger audience and a more influential audience to the show. So that's something you're talking about there with bringing eyes and advertising to the product. Being on a wider network is going to kind of help them.
Look, we need that rock and wrestling boom again, right? But, you know, Cyndi Lauper ain't going to cut it these days. So we need that kind of similar thing. MTV isn't what it was. We need sort of social media people. We need people with the gravitas of Logan Paul's influence on the internet. They are that next wave of people that are going to bring fresh eyes to the product. They'll hopefully stick around long after they've moved on to another field.
Yes, they stay within the sphere of wrestling.
They need to make it cool to people, because wrestling has that stigma around it. It's always had that stigma around it, but when it becomes, I guess, more socially acceptable to the normies, then that's when you see these big boom periods really take off.
Yeah, and the other thing that report from House of Wrestling, we're talking about boom periods, they mentioned that the belief in WWE is that AEW is cold right now, and that they have a significant advantage with NXT going to this new channel with the CW, that it will perform better than Dynamite. I think that is, I personally feel, as much as I do enjoy AEW, and I think both shows have their strengths, I think that is something we're going to see when the channel moves.
I saw a report that Tony Khan had apparently turned down an offer from the CW. So I feel like he feels that Ring of Honor's potentially got another landing spot lined up, or they're trying to tie that in. But I'm kind of worried about AEW at the minute. It does feel like things are kind of getting a little bit rocky in terms of that TV deal and the relationship there. Yeah,
we'll see over the next year how things pan out with terms of TV deals. And speaking of TV and film stuff, John Cena is a man who's going back to Hollywood because the SAG-AFTRA strike is over.
Goodbye, wrestling. I don't need you anymore.
Yeah, he's returned to his home planet, which is apparently film and acting.
I really hope they do the Poochie wave.
The Poochie wave. But he revealed on X, formerly known as Twitter, that he'd undergone surgery on his arm and is set to be getting more surgery soon. He said, "Thank you, Jeff Dugas, MD, and your entire team in Birmingham. One arm fixed, clean and headed for therapy. One arm left to go. Thank you again, and see you ASAP for the next one." Obviously, this comes just after his match to Solo Sikoa at Crown Jewel on November 4th, where he was kind of mauled.
Yeah, he was mauled.
He was kind of battered.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of speculation about his future in wrestling, whether this is the end of it, if this is the last match of John Cena. I don't think so, but it's probably the last match of his current run.
I think we're moving into
the strikes and surgery.
I think we're moving into rock phase now with Cena. So we're going to see Cena pop up like we have been, right? Like at a Mania, and then you don't see him for 2 years, and then another Mania or a SummerSlam, that you don't see him for 2 years, and then he pops up at a random SmackDown when it happens to be near his house.
Near his home,
So I think that we're going to probably see Cena in moments, maybe not another high profile match until that's it, until the very, very last thing.
Which kind of sucks. John Cena was a big part of my childhood growing up, and it was like, this is the guy.
It's weird, isn't it, man? I hated him for so long, but you just don't know what you got till it's gone. But what a lad Jeff Dugas is. Get working on that other arm.
What great work on surgery on John Cena, getting him rehabbed and all that. Well, if you're watching, well done. But that is all we've got for just now. We'll be back later on today with more wrestling news. Check out the podcast that went live last night.
It's a longie.
It is a long one. You had Adam and Tom on it this week. So go and check that one out. We will catch you later on.